Hi, my name is Ron Layman. I'm from the Faux School in Frederick, Maryland, where I teach decorative painting workshops and complete commission projects for clients all around the world. Today I'm going to show you a technique for recreating or painting imitation mahogany. So let's get our tools, let's get our materials, and let's get started. So the first thing I've done to get ready for today's technique is I've base coated the surface with a color called Orange Peel from Benjamin Moore, and this is in their Regal Select. And it's an eggshell enamel. We don't want flat, we do not want semi-gloss. We want that eggshell or satin, preferably eggshell. It's the right consistency of sheen so the glaze sticks to it, it doesn't absorb into it, it doesn't slide off. So meaning if it's a flat paint, it holds the glaze, soaks it in, makes it harder for us to work. Semi-gloss is too smooth, it slides all over the place. So you can go down to a local store, Benjamin Moore, get it, great paint, good to go. And it's Orange Peel. Water base, this is the interior product because it would be wood graining interior surfaces. The glaze today is from Modern Masters. It's their tintable glaze. This is interior only. It says 1 hour open time, meaning the time you have to do something with it, manipulate it. It's, you know, we need it. It's very good glaze. Interior only, soap and water cleanup, tints with pigment, never paint. Paint will make it dry faster. Pigment will slow down the drying time. This already has a drying agent in it. So if you put paint in it, it's going to dry faster than what you want. So by using pigment, it dries slower. This is the base color for the glaze process, or step number one in the process. So let's focus here. Modern Masters, soap and water cleanup, tints with pigment, never paint. Interior only. Tools for the first step. We're going to need something to apply the glaze. I'm going to use my Purdy Peacock Black Nylon Bristle Brush. Purdy is the manufacturer. The Peacock is the brand, or the model, I'm sorry. And Black Nylon is the bristle. It's a very soft bristle. It leaves less brush marks. It's designed for water-based materials. They don't stock them in most paint stores. Just I order them online. It's just a great brush. I love it, and you're not going to change my mind. All right. Then we're going to need for this a flogger. This will create all the background pores behind our mahogany grain. This is made of horsehair. There are different types of floggers out there, and I know some people are going to be tempted to buy. They're going to go, "Oh my gosh, that's a $100 brush." Yes, that sounds expensive, but here's why. One, it's just the right amount here. It's a triple row. It's set in epoxy and a wooden handle. The less expensive ones are set in a metal ferrule, and they usually have staples going through it to hold it in place. Here's the problem with that. At some point over the years, that metal will rust. The rust will leach into the bristles, and when it goes here, it ends up there. So yeah, $100 does sound like a lot of money, but this brush is almost 15 years old. Yeah. So you do the math, and if you buy those $50 or $30 or $25 cheapy guys, one, they're not going to do the same because the hair is not as soft. It's a different hair. It's very coarse, and that'll show here. So that's pretty much it. I get this from the folks over at Handover in the UK. You'll find it down below in the description. Now, before we use this brush, I always take a comb, just like your hair, and I like to comb it out. And what that does, time for a new comb, just like your hair, it's going to get the knots out of it. Now, when I clean these brushes up, I wash them very, very well, usually at least 3 times. That sounds crazy and excessive, but again, this is $100. We want this investment to last. Plus, you take care of your tools, your work looks good. So just get the knots out of it, just like you do your own hair, because if this is all knotted and crinkled up when you do the technique, you might see that. Now the other thing too, in case there's any loose hairs or some break, they come out here, not there. Got it? All right. Just brush it out real simple. Okay, when I clean it up, I use simple green. I wash it out two or three times, and when I store the brush, I will actually take hair conditioner, just like we use, and put it on here. That way these stay nice and soft. Because you don't want them to dry out, because again, it's a big investment, all right? So let's get to it. We're going to take our Purdy Peacock, and then our glaze. We're going to load the brush with some glaze, not a lot. and I'm going to brush it in. We don't want a lot. I actually diluted this down probably about 10% to get more of a stain consistency, which is nothing wrong with that because the glaze is thick when it comes right out the can. And, you know, just dilute it a little bit, but never dilute it more than 10%. You gotta be careful because you can break down the properties of the material. Now, I always top off my glaze, or tip off, I'm sorry, top to bottom. Simple, right? And the reason we want to do that, you don't want to roll it, you don't want to haphazardly brush it because look, it's starting to take on the look of wood. Wow. It's funny how that happens. So we're giving ourselves a good starting point. All right. Want to make sure. Now, you can go back and forth, stretch it out, and what this does is we make sure that we have good, even coverage. Pull the excess off and let's tip it off top to bottom. All right. Actually, I'm going to go up and down a little bit because I can still see the side-to-side movement. Now just straight down. There we go. Okay, let's put the lid back on that glaze because we don't want it to dry out and go funky on us. Okay, so the flogger, how this works. Relax, it's all here, okay? Actually, I'm sorry. You can start at the elbow. But what we're going to do is we're going to hit the surface. Just like this, all right? We don't want this ferrule to hit because it'll leave marks. We want it to hit right here, not the tips into the paint. We don't want to do that. We want it to smack right here. Here, see it? Right there, that's where we want it to hit the surface. And what we're going to do is a very even, easy movement. What I'm doing right now is I'm looking at my brush to make sure it's not all out of sorts and wonky. All right? Because some of the older brushes, when I store them, they'll hang up. They have that little hole in the handle. Hang them dry, like so. That way they don't lay down. When you lay down and get stored, they kind of take that shape and it messes up the brush. So what we're going to do is simply take this brush, and you can practice over here and warm up. Okay, let's see which one out of the way. And I'm going to simply go into it, start down here, again, hitting the bristles here. All right? I'm just going to come up. Nice and easy. Even pressure, like so. Take a rag and just pull off any excess that could be on there. And just go up, 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 up. When I do it, I overlap into the first. I'm not trying to match up the side. I want to overlap. It's okay. Not going to hurt anything. Just lightly, 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 up, up, like so. And I missed some down here, so I got to come back into it. Now, okay, when I said I missed something and I continued all the way up, if I stop, you're going to see the tips of the brush in the surface. That's the other reason we work up into it. Like so. Look at it. Make sure we're pretty consistent. Let me show you what we have here because I know it's hard to see. Okay. See that? That is all the pores that you would see in the back of your piece of mahogany. So this has to dry 100% before we carry on. And because there's so many steps involved in this process, I'm going to break this down into a couple different videos so you don't sit here and get bored watching for a good solid hour. All right, so click, follow along. The next part of the process is in the video showing up in the little squares down here, okay? All right, that's it for this one. We'll see you next time on step 2. My name is Ron Layman. I'm from the Faux School in Frederick, Maryland, where I teach decorative painting workshops and complete commission projects for clients all around the world. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.